Well, good morning. And it is Think About or finally Friday. I'm still into yesterday's thing that we put up for you guys. We are having such a beautiful time in our Think About Thursday questions. Thank you, everyone who has been really interested and likes the questions that we've asked. Thank you, everyone, for being here. 5 years and connecting with our challenges, your challenges, what has been past and present. We've had since December 2020 to think about the challenges that we have gone through. And I gotta say, my, have you all came through them. If you're still going through them, I would ask of you to please know that you have accepted the challenge. Know that you also, after you have accepted the challenge, that you have done well in your challenges. We're going to keep rolling, and I want to say thank you for joining us today. Challenges. We learn all about them through others and through ourselves. We can relate to them. I want to also say we have a new challenge that we're facing. We told you this week, we made the beautiful announcement that we are going to have a new building. Our building or center is going to be the Healing Center. The Healing Center is going to provide access to your being able to get support. Keep in mind that we are not doctors and we have no medical degrees. We're just going to be having a healing center where you come in, you can enroll in the classes, you can enroll in the group support, and you can individually get the help that you need or want. We are so appreciative. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
We are so appreciative of the challenge of our GoFundMe. It's not a personal profit. Nobody's going to be a millionaire. It's all going to go for office things that we need. And so I thought that I would offer you all a challenge. And if you're listening to this today, would you like to take a challenge of every person donating $1 today? $1. Think about that. If 5 people listen to us, that's $5. We can use paper, pencils. We could use tables and chairs if there is $20. So we would like to offer you the challenge. Everybody's always on a challenge. That is if you want to do the challenge. Now there is a new challenge. to just listen and not judge. I like that challenge. I've seen some really,
Me too.
you like that? I've seen some really cool ones. Some of them are really funny. So I would like everybody today that is listening to donate $1 because it makes a difference. And I'm going to be in on that too, um, because it's not just dependent upon you guys. How I make that center is going to represent every human that will walk through those doors, taking a challenge. So is this challenge going to be easy? Is it going to be difficult? Is it going to be hard? We'll see. It's for a great cause. People are walking around with trauma, tragedy. And I want to talk about a tragedy, okay? And this is what we want. We want to be able to come and talk about what has bothered us, what has kept us from self-caring, from loving ourselves, from all the things that we've been through because of loss, because of whatever. The list goes on and on and on. But today we're going to talk about how we can again challenge ourselves and what the healing process would take. So I'm asking everyone who is listening to donate $1 today. If we do that for the course of the next 4 Fridays, we can make a difference. So that's the challenge I have today. And as you look on our page, we have new information for you. Had to make a few adjustments. Share the page because it is for a good cause. On November the 20th, 2024, a young man was awakened by his mother. As he woke up to try to collect himself, his mother was standing over him with her hands behind her back. And we all know how that is when we wake up. We don't really know what's going on until we get ourselves together. So if you could just for a second, I want you to understand that experience just for a moment. I want you to think about what it's like to be woken up. This was no ordinary morning. So here it is. As she stood over him, she said, I was just kidding, because that wasn't your average wake up call by your mother, the one that you trust, the one that you love, the one that you feel safe in their home. So as he came through, or two, he realized that she had something behind her back. Realization set as she pointed to him with her weapon. She looked at him and she said, I was just kidding. Knowing that his mother had a very strange look on her face, she was far from humor or any jokes. And all jokes aside, He woke up. He got out of bed. As he struggled with her to grab her weapon, realizing that she was going to take him out, he struggled and struggled and struggled. He got the weapon. He ran to the garage. He tried to open the garage and he screamed for help! Help! Somebody help me, please! He couldn't get out of the garage. So he is still trying to keep his mother off of him with the weapon that he had. He was able to get out of the garage and run free. Before he did that, he had to unshow the weapon because of the neighborhood. He ran to his neighbor. He said to his neighbor what had occurred. Lo and behold, the cops finally come after they get called. The mother was inside. She had taken her own life and that of his brothers. By the way, his younger brother was stricken with brain cancer. Days before that, they did an interview, and the mom expressed how stressful it was to have to take care of her now debilitated son because he was unable to take care of himself. Life became very difficult for him. Now, if you're a mother or a parent or a caretaker of anybody that is close to you, I want you to think about what the experience is like to have to bear every day and see every day your loved one deteriorating. She said life was not normal for her child, as he was 26 years old. He was once popular. Everybody loved him. And now because he had challenge of a terrible disease, she felt the pain that only a parent would. No one came to visit him. She spoke of all the friends that he had. No one came to see him. Those who had once been his friends did not call or did not say, "How are you doing today?" I want to go back to the mother. I can only imagine what triggered November 20th, 2024. By the way, the second son, he survived it. But now, did he survive the mental and emotional part of it? What would you all say? So I have been watching this story. I have been listening to him. I personally reached out to him because he is never going to be the same again. The police, upon investigating the situation, were left with notes to give him. She had planned to unalive both of her sons. I'm so thankful that he was not a hard sleeper, because if somebody's standing over you, you kind of feel that. If we've ever felt someone standing over us, or if our kids wake us up, I'm the type of person, if I'm asleep, I know that you're near me. I can feel that when my kids come into the room, or when my ex-husband came into the room, or whoever comes into the room, you feel that. I'm just so thankful that he woke up. What do we do with people that are carrying that kind of trauma around? Anybody come up with a solution? The best thing that we could ever do is to listen when people speak. And some of us are challenged because some of us don't listen. And that is true of every person ever living. There's been times when we didn't listen. Let our minds go back for a moment to think about the times when we have said, I really should have listened to that. We've all been there. But is it a need to beat ourselves? Not at all. When he did the interview, his mother and I could hear her and the stress that she was under because her life wasn't the same, having to take care of her son and be there. And she kept saying that. A lot of us, and you can ask your mothers or your fathers, are under stress. And we tell nobody because you know what, we believe that it's going to be okay. Or that we don't need to tell anybody. We'll just take it on because why? We're Wonder Woman and Superman. When the truth is, everyone needs someone to talk to. Now, on Fridays, you get to hear real live stories. If you're aware of this story, I'm not going to say any names, but I want you to be aware of the stress that is going on. You may not have surmountable stress, but you have enough stress that sometimes you just need to talk about it. And so the cause of our challenge is to have a healing place. That's the kind of person that needs a place of healing. Come a little closer. That's the kind of person that needs a place of healing. You see, what I like about our healing center is that our workshops are so that you don't even know that you're doing any kind of counseling, that you're doing any kind of work on yourself, because we make it about that. Our projects that we have, our conversations. He has been strong on the outside exterior, but in the inside, I almost guarantee that he replays that image over and over again. The first part of a healing process is to allow your mind to adjust to what the experience was. How many times have we experienced something and we've said, did that just happen? When was the last time you've said that? Because you can't believe it. The eye saw it, but the mind and body system has a slow reaction to it. And aren't we thankful that our bodies can heal, our minds can heal from trauma and tragedy? That scene will forever play in his mind, even when he is a 70-year-old man or a man that is on his deathbed. Why? Because there are images that the brain has picked up, information that the mind has signaled to say, yes, that happened. I remember it. Have I gotten through to any of you anywhere listening? There are people like him over and over and over again. He has been living a somewhat normal life, taking care of his kids, going to take them to school and grocery shopping and doing all this. But somewhere in there, the body's going to tell him and the mind is going to tell him that he needs to heal. Going back to the body and the mind, the slow response of that experience, the body has to take time to absorb what just happened. Now you're speaking out of your mouth and you say, I saw that happen. But the body and the mind has to process information. I don't know if you guys realize, because you all are pretty smart, what happens to you when you are experiencing trauma. If you've ever experienced trauma, many of my clients have, they know that they're going to grieve. The grief is the process that they will experience. How do I know this? Because I've went through it. Not the same experience, but the feeling. I thought about him and I know that he is going to grieve. And it's going to come over him like a freight train. Because he said he had to be strong. He had to be strong for his kids. But I want you to think about it. Just being strong for oneself is a lot. Because he not only experienced trauma once, but twice with two very close people. So the mind and body system has a way of protecting itself that he will grieve them one at a time, twice as long as a person that has lost one person. Let's think about that for a moment. And sometimes we will deny ourselves help because the body has to go through the grief. And then you go through the pain and anger hurt. You miss those people. You miss them. And you wish they were here. And you go back and you think about the last conversations and you think, why didn't I say something? We all do it. There was no way he could have known that November the 20th, 2024 was going to be a change forever in his life. He's going to remember that day for the rest of his life. The body has to heal. And sometimes healing cannot be done on its own. The most beautiful thing about the healing process that we have been given by our Creator, who's a beautiful designer, is that the body can heal. Remember how we talked about the ugly and what it looks like, the healing process? You know, we're afraid of it because of what it looks like, what it entails. We got to go back, we got to recap. When really, all we need is the process to know that we're going to heal. I'm sure that when the holidays came around, he missed his mom and his brother. You just can't wake up and snap out of it. The experience is there. The healing will begin in his own due time, in the body's own due time. I paused for a moment because I want you to think about how important this healing center is to both Trish and myself. It is not a cause of something out of the air. There is a need and a call for something like this. You know, there's going to be times where he's going to wake up. He questioned his moods. One day he's feeling this way, the next day he's feeling this way. There's no judgment in that. After that experience, what do we expect? He's allowed to go through those things as his body makes adjustments to begin the healing process, because he's got to hurt. You know, the part about missing somebody and feeling like, man, so now he's got to miss them. He's got to feel hurt, pain. Because no doubt when the detective came out to tell him what had happened, think about it. Your only brother and your mom. Close enough? How you would feel. So what I'd like for everybody to do is try to empathize. Feeling empathy. We all say, oh, that's really sad. But some of us have been through very similar situations. And we all have experienced it a little bit different. And so the healing center is for anybody that comes in and we find, even in talking conversation, hey, we know this place. Trish and I are by no means rich. We're not even thinking about getting rich. Facebook is always helping these people to get money. I have a job. I'm okay. So I don't gain anything from Facebook. But we said, wouldn't it be nice to just let people come and talk? Support group. Wouldn't it be nice to have one-on-ones? We've been doing that. Wouldn't it be nice to do workshops where people can do projects? And so we're asking you to help us get the word out. Now, I want you to think about the mother, because we've talked about it, and the stress and the strain and the information of trying to get the son the medical help that he needed, because he had a brain tumor. And when they cut into his brain, they had to take out half of his brain. So it made him not be able to do the things that a normal 26-year-old would be able to do. His speech was also altered. The mom, of course, felt frustration. How many of us have ever been frustrated before? We're frustrated because the car won't start. We're frustrated because we're late. We're frustrated at the kids, the dogs, the cats, our boss. So we all know what that feels like, right? Because we felt the frustration before. Everybody has different reasons for why they feel the way they do. Imagine a mother with a son who was born normal, and now she's got to be stressed and tasked with the point of trying to find him help because his cancer was very aggressive. It was spreading. Imagine a mother feeling helpless because she couldn't help her son. Life had defied him. No judgment. Something triggered her that morning more than ever before. And I can say that without having ever met her. A mother having to deal with that, knowing the love that a parent has for a child. Maybe feeling helpless, frustrated, not having the money to get him the things that he needed. So when the son, the one who survived this tragic day, said, I will never forget the look in my mother's face. The look in my mother's face was not my mother. Think about you literally being out of your mind. Because sometimes, what we ask people, are you out of your mind? How many of us have said that to somebody? And we take that and dismiss it as if it were some kind of a joke or some kind of thing that people do. And that's why we always talk about getting understanding of emotional intelligence, knowing how you feel. The son, no doubt, had information because his mother apparently had some health issues. And she had been dealing with that for so long. Now, here's where it is when we listen without judgment. See, because we can listen all day long. I can click a button and do podcasts all day long. But are you really listening? Do you really get the idea of what people are challenged with? Sometimes people don't say what they mean. He said the doctors were taking forever to get the brother help. We know why that is, because sometimes the money is the issue. Instead of helping a person out of a will or a want, there are some doctors who will take on a patient. There are hospitals that we have donated to that will take on children. One very popular hospital here in Los Angeles does that. It is one of the best hospitals for young people. And so we want to make our center about that. We want to make our center where people who are distressed, people who are dealing with guilt, shame, they come in and they know how to address it. And they don't have to give names. They don't have to tell us where they live. We want to resource them to get the help. Because some of us know things and we don't tell people. But now when it comes to your mental and your emotional health, we need to listen without judgment. The environment is a safe environment. And even if you just want to come to listen and you don't talk the first time, we've had people like that. They didn't talk for the first time. I had a young woman that when we were doing Vibe Talk in our first year, the years in, who sent me a very beautiful letter and said, I've never said anything, but thank you. I'll never forget that letter. It was quite detailed. See, there are people like that, but we want to make people welcome. We want to do everything in our power that people can really come and talk about things that have happened. Sometimes I've had people in my life that have told me things in my personal life, and they've known me years, and they will break out with something, and you go, wow, I never even would have thought that happened to you if you know people like that. Why are we talking about today's challenge? Because it is a need for us to access ourselves. We go around helping and helping and helping and helping and helping, and that's okay. We like helping. But sometimes the helper needs a help. Vice versa. Or the helpee needs a helper. We know that you guys listen. Facing lions is a courageous thing. That young man really had to get that weapon out of his mother's hand. Thinking that he had saved the day, not knowing that his mother had another weapon. He thought, wow, I can't even imagine him. He said he was in that garage for some time before he could get out of it. I can't even imagine how he felt after knowing there was a second weapon. I think that young man was courageous. Come a little closer. I think that young man was courageous. Did he want to have to wrestle with his mother? Did he have time to think about what was going on? Because no doubt he would have protected his mother. So I want you to think about him and think about how grateful we are to have presented to you the Help Center. Are we going to be able to access every person that walks through our door? We sure hope so. We are no doctors. We are not psychologists. We don't have medical degrees. But you know what? We do have enough knowledge and enough sense to be certified, I am, to be able to help so many people. 5 years and still connecting. We are going to be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
Facing the lion is always positive. And so I ask you today, as we are going to be facing our lions, our challenges of the week, what did you face this week that was challenging? Facing the lions, facing the lions.
We're back. And we're going to now listen to Trisha's Treasures. Trish?
That was a lot. And as I was sitting here just listening and thinking about the situation, I was wondering, what can I say? Or how do I begin my Trisha's Treasures today? And all I can say to everyone that's healing is I wish you a successful healing process. I wish you to continue to heal. I wish you for someone to support you when you feel like your job is to be strong, but in reality, you want someone to hold you while you're holding them. And I wish you a consistent healing process as well, because healing takes a lot of time. I'm speaking from experience because I've had a situation that is similar to that person's story happen in my family, and I miss my cousins. I miss my aunt because something like that actually happened in my family. And you never know what someone is going through But when I see my cousin sometimes, I never ask him how he's doing in that situation because I'm afraid of if he's not ready to talk about it. Or I wonder if I'm overstepping boundaries. But I do realize that the least he can say is, I don't want to talk about it. But I can do is ask. I can ask. Or if I don't want to ask, I could just say, I'm there for you. If you need to talk to someone, I'm right here. Or I love you. I see you. I understand you. And even though our tragedies are very different, he lost his brother and sister and his mom. I lost my aunt and my cousins. But we are still grounded in the fact that we lost someone. And I hope you guys understand that it doesn't matter how many people you lose or how big your tragedy is. What matters is I understand you and we empathize with each other and we show compassion. And our compassion is listening. Our consideration is listening. And we give boundaries here in Vibe Talk about we listening to your story because we genuinely do care about what you tell us. Our healing center is about us caring about you, us listening to you, and we are on ground level. We are not going to degrade you or discriminate against you because just like you, we are healing. I'm still healing from some things, and I understand that it's all in due time for you, and we get that. So I've learned while I'm healing is to give myself grace, give myself patience in healing, because it's not a race to heal from one thing to another, to see how fast I can heal from something else. It is time. And it takes a lot of patience and giving myself support. So I wish you to do the same. I wish you to give yourself grace, give yourself patience, give yourself that time to heal from what you are healing from.
Thank you for that. You can hear Trisha's Treasures on YouTube. You can hashtag Trisha's Treasure, and you can listen to her music as well. Today's song is going to be Listen by Beyonce. I want you to think about listening. And then I want you to ask yourself a question. When people say listen, are you really listening? The young man that went through that horrible tragedy, you are a hero. Because it takes courage, you see. It takes a fight. And you had to do that unprepared. So you didn't fail because when you are faced with that type of a lion, you don't know what to expect next. So I ask you all today, let this day be $1 for every person that's going to click the button today. Whether it's on stream, Facebook, wherever you're going to get this, because we do need a healing center. We finally got it. We're going to celebrate while the doors open January 4th, 2025. Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Today is finally Friday, and I couldn't have said it any better than Trish said it in her Trish's Treasure. Thank you for that, Trish. And we wish you all healed. When you come through our doors in our community, on Zoom, on video, virtually, in person, think about your family members and thank you for your story, Trish. Think about our loved ones that one day your entire life could change. We need to group like we are going to for other people to listen to other people's stories, for them to be able to tell their story. Life is about living. Life is about growing. Life is about experiencing challenges and knowing how to gain strength from that. How to be a lion. I want to thank my amazing co-hosts. And when I thank my amazing co-hosts, believe me, they are not just words coming from me. That's coming from the deepest part of my emotion. Thank you, Trish, for all that you do. Thank you to all the audience and how much you donate. Doesn't matter. Even if you were to bring a chair and drop it off at our center for those who are listening locally, every donation matters. And we want those doors to be open long after Trish and I have left. In fact, our appointments, our groups, our individuals, that's going to be all on donation basis. So anybody that feels like how much money is that going to cost, because that's always my favorite question, when they say, oh, you can get this and that, and it sounds really great, right? But then when they start telling you the price, you say, thank you for calling. We want everybody to know that everything is on donation basis. When they come, if they have a donation, you can drop that off. We're not going to turn away people. We're not going to turn away families. We're not going to turn away couples. We're not going to turn away children. You don't have to worry about insurance because we want to help you work it out. After all, it's your key. I challenge you. Will you accept the challenge? Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, Saturdays are Vibe Talk After Dark with me. And we will listen to some smooth and chill music. I promise you. As you listen to this podcast, please share it with someone. Please share it with someone and ask them to share it. And we thank you for any and all donations. Have a great, safe weekend. Until next time, this is Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about. I was really back the moves and then I got the vibe with it. I really took my time with it. I really love the ride with it. Really got the vibe with it. I took my time with it. I really love the